Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we are working on the bracelet from a photo number 15 that was, well, this is really sped up. This is like 7 times the speed, I think, we went with, because this was, well, it was almost 3 hours of bracelet making, which is kind of a lot for a video like this. And it's, again, there is an illusion of it not being so bad because it's not overly repetitive. When I first kind of got it going, okay, so first off, it's like starting a double bracelet, right? Well, see, it's a little bit like a teardrop start. Like, I don't know if you can see that. See that? So it's got a bit of the teardrop thing going on, but it also goes out on the other direction. So it's like having two bracelets, starting side by side and whatever. And so the first, like, diamonds or whatever, that's relatively easy. And then you join it. And then the sudden realization, oh my God, we have Celtic design to work on. And that is slightly nightmarish. But then it's not. It really wasn't that bad. Once I kind of got the first one in and then started working on the sides of it and then coming across the row, I realized, like, if you're going in the right direction, it just kind of goes as rows, and that was really awesome. And then go back the other way and it goes the other way, and it it's not that bad. The other thing was, and you can kind of watch my knots, I don't do any of the what I call the zigzag knots, the right lefts and the left rights. And that's great for anybody who really only knows the left knot or the right knot, right? If you're kind of new and basically you can do a chevron, you can do this pattern. And that, I think, makes it really kind of awesome. In fact, I did it that way because I was interested in seeing if there was any problems where the strings, where one gets used a lot more than others, if you had to use caution, if there was any kind of run-ins that would make this a bracelet that might be troublesome for somebody that was maybe starting into it. And no, I didn't have any troubles with the length at all. Everything actually kind of balanced out pretty evenly, which kind of surprised me, to be honest. I really honestly expected there to be something that just gets used a lot more. But that was not the case. So yeah, really happy about that. I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but this is a fluorescent green. This is the stuff that glows in the black light, which I have a black light flashlight for, like, showing it off. I don't know where it is though. But yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I like it. It makes for a really great contrast, and I thought it would be fun. Oh, and you might notice that if you look at the pattern back on the website, and you look at this, I left off the outer green row at the top. And I talked about that in the previous video, if you watched that. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to leave that in or not. And at the end of the day, I was just like, you know what? Let's not do it. And now that it's done and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I totally should have. I totally could have done that extra green row and it would have looked fine and would have been pretty cool and stuff. But whatever. What's done is done. Obviously I left it off the top and the bottom because, I have to be symmetrical. It's a thing. Hang on. It is really seriously warm here today in Singapore. I am dying, so I'm going to have a little bit of beverage, so bear with me here. So yeah. What else can I tell you? Oh, you'll notice too, like the dark one went farther on the left than it does on the right, because on the right it needs to join with the other side to kind of complete that part. So there's like leaving out a few knots just to kind of get the diamond more built up. So that way when they join, I have more pieces to join with. If I just joined like that first row of the dark ones, there wouldn't be very much holding the structure of everything, and it made life difficult. So like I built out the diamonds as far as I can, and that way it just makes it easier when you join the two pieces together. So that's, if you're new to this sort of thing, that right there will actually make a huge difference in what you're making. So yeah. See, now we're putting it together. See, that's the knot I was talking about. Like if you, that would be only one row. Even if you go to the next one, that's, you know, you only have two rows holding, right? So it's the whole notion of getting a few in there to kind of hold it together before you start, you know, going crazy with the rest of the whole thing is all. So hopefully that's helpful. Hang on. Man, getting over a cold, and I still have congestion. Don't know what that's about, but anyway, what else can I tell you? Um, it would have been interesting to try this in a single floss and see how much more space we would have had to work with. I don't think we could have fit two of the main design in, even if, um, but it would still be interesting to see if we could fit in more, if we could do something different with it. Oh yeah, there was two patterns to this, and I had to choose between the two different ones. I didn't know. I ended up asking a friend what they thought, and they said they preferred this version, so this is the one I went with. Yeah, if we had done it in the single strings, I think we could have done more with the extra squiggles that we had started on that other version. That could have become a little bit more interesting, perhaps. Would be neat to see. So here's the beginning of the Celtic design, and you can see I'm kind of working the one path that kind of comes down, and then the other one is going to come over further, and it actually goes over this white one. So I brought the white one down so that way I could complete the row that was coming in from the left side. So there was a lot of kind of working ahead and trying to planning ahead and doing some of this stuff. And like I'm already on the right hand side, I might as well get to this little half diamond thing that's on the edge over here. And yeah, I do try to cut corners whenever possible with these kind of things. Um, it just to make it a little faster, to make it a little bit more of a challenge, really. You know, I kind of get excited about the notion of trying to make it easier. So, um, what else can I tell you? Yeah, it was like 3 hours. So, like, basically, I spent a lot of time watching various videos on YouTube this time. Um, Nothing special, nothing crazy, nothing like, ooh, you guys got to go watch this thing or something. It was fun. It was, you know, helps the time to pass. Actually, I I had videos on and I had my headphones. I have like the over the ear headphones so you can hear music and you can hear outside noises. So I had music playing and YouTube playing, which is perhaps the most ADHD thing ever. Um, but hey, it worked. I was super entertained when the dull points are in the video. I'm singing when something's interesting. I'm concentrating on the video. Um, it kind of reminded me a lot of my childhood. Like it felt like I may have done this kind of stuff with TVs and radios in my youth, which I hadn't really thought about in many years, but um, it did kind of remind me of that. I'm not sure that I kind of want to embrace that side so much because I'm not sure that it's that productive. It feels good. It feels rewarding or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, that's that's more me than the bracelet. I guess there's really not that much to tell you about it. It's an easy design overall. Um, it's a nice looking design. Um, it was kind of fun, to be honest. There was, yeah, I had to keep kind of looking at the pattern, make sure that I was staying on course or whatever. But I didn't have, it wasn't like one of the super complicated ones where I have to like cross off things when I get done with it, because that is a thing. Like if you get into some of the more advanced patterns, um, you'll end up having something like GIMP open and you start marking off the areas that you've done, so that way you don't get confused. And yeah, this is nothing like that. So that's kind of cool. Oh, so here's what I'm talking about. So after we got the first part started, notice everything now seems to be going towards the left. And so I just have to create a bunch of rows going to the left, which is awesome. You know, it's see, now this one will come down, crosses over. And then the next one, everything will kind of veer off to the right. Yeah, once I kind of figured out like what needed to happen to kind of get this part going, um, yeah, it started making sense. And it's again, the pattern doesn't repeat so many times that you're like, oh no, this is going to take forever. It was like, oh, I get through these little knots and I'm almost to the halfway point. And then next thing I know, I'm at the halfway point. And like, okay, so then all I got to do is, you know, do the middle thing and then go into the back and forths again. Like I said, it didn't feel terribly long overall, um, but it was. It really was. It was like 2 hours and 51 minutes or something. Like I said, it was almost 3 hours. So, whatever. It For a bracelet this big, because mind you, this is, I put this against my wrist. See, it's huge. Okay. Right? It's a big bracelet. So 3 hours for something this size, probably not that bad. Um, I could see maybe do some other colors to it. It would be fun to do as a bag, to be honest. If you put like 4 or 5 of these around, um, I think it would be a very, very stunning kind of bag. I think that would be very eye-catching. I don't know how many you would need to do to fit a phone. Probably at least 4, right? There was what, 20? I forgot how many strings it is already. 20, no. Is it 32? No, 22. I forgot how many strings it is. Um, but yeah, like four, maybe 5 of these around. You'd be able to fit phones and stuff in there, and then you could have a nice little strap to hold it. Thing is like carrying a phone like that, it would look an awful lot like carrying a purse, which is great for the gals. Um, but I think I would become really super self conscious about having a little string with my phone hanging from it. So, unfortunately, society kind of makes it a little bit harder for us guys to have these cool things, which is weird. I don't know. I mean, if it's practical, it shouldn't matter, right? But yeah, I still wouldn't carry it just because I would feel funny. And just saying that out loud makes me feel bad. Like honestly, feels like, gosh, why do I why do I care what other people think? But I do. It's it's probably the very more American side of me. Like there are like so many more guys here in Singapore who carry like a sling bag or, you know, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different bags of things that they sport. And yeah, kind of really like I don't know. It's a very different kind of world over here. So like I said, I could probably get away with it, and they probably nobody would even notice, except for they'd notice the pretty knots. They'd be like, "Ooh, that's nice." Yeah. So this is the middle area of this thing, which is it's actually pretty cool. I kind of like how I don't. It's like a symbol of like two X's up against each other. It kind of reminds me of something. I have no. I can't put my finger on what that is that it reminds me of, but I think it's cool. So yeah, hey, while we're here, before I forget, let me thank my Patreon supporters for making the whole video and tutorials possible. Um, I really do need their support in getting these things done. The string, obviously, doesn't come for free. Mind you, it's not that expensive, but it's still an expense. So yeah, we're still a ways from getting the channel monetized. Hopefully that comes in the near future. We can start doing some more giveaways. Um, I still have to work on how any of that will ever even work, but we'll work on that. And then yeah, lots of cool things to look forward to. Oh, and if you guys aren't watching, like the on Saturday nights in Singapore time, I do a live stream, and I've been making bags, and I'm teaching how to make the bags, and yeah, you should probably like join in and watch. Um, I add the links afterwards to the websites where the pattern and stuff originated from, so that way you guys can like check out the pattern, check out any pictures, and maybe catch previous live streams if you may have missed one, because maybe some of the steps that we cover and stuff. Because I do try. There's a lot of banter. There's a lot of talk about everything, what's going on in the world today, and just everything. Um, but I do try to explain what I'm doing with the project. Um, I try to show how basically all the steps of how to actually make something, like this. So yeah, come join us on a Saturday. Lots of fun. We even have a magic 8 ball where you ask the magic 8 ball questions, and the robot out there in the cyber world answers. Sometimes he's really funny, sometimes he's just stupid. Hopefully he can't hear me, because then he'll be mean. He has been mean before. So yeah, that's always fun. What else do we do? We just talk about everything. I don't know. It's fun. Get a lot of questions about various bracelet things, and I do my best to answer. And it's a cool way to hang out and whatever. Yeah, so you can see now we're starting to do where the overlapping part is coming over to the right. And we are beyond the halfway point. So what is that? The thing in the middle, right? That looks like something, right? Is it like the symbol for like the Green Lantern or something? Am I missing like the obvious? Like it's a comic book thing or something? I feel like it could be something as simple as that. Like I just know that it looks like something, and I don't know why. If it is, it's gonna be especially funny that I chose green. I didn't know, like, going into this, like what I was gonna do. Um But then I did kind of decide it was going to be a fluorescent, and I was kind of torn between the greens and the orange, and I kind of felt like I hadn't done a green one in a while, so that's why it's green. It was, if you're wondering like what's the motivator, that was it. Um, the other color, in case you can't really tell, is in the blue family. It's kind of a dark gray with a blue tint to it. And then the other color is, I want to say it's white, but I don't think it's a pure white. I think it's maybe just a shade into the grays. If I had my if I had that blacklight flashlight, I'd be able to tell you for sure because the blacklight flashlight will like light up a white thread and turn it purple. But I don't know where it is, which is really disappointing because I really like that thing. Yep. So this is the part where like the knots are kind of coming back and doing the other part to it. And um, so like this area is like the more complicated thing, but then it doesn't last for very long, right? And then it just goes into the very last diamond, and then it's back to just doing the diamonds at the end, which is sort of, I don't know. The whole thing kind of struck me funny as to how it just seemed so simple. Um, because kind of going into it, I don't know why I didn't expect it to be, because I've done Celtic stuff before. I've done like crazy patterns and things. Um, but yeah, this one was just like, oh yeah, then and then I do this, and then and next thing I know, you know, whole big swatches are done, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, if you guys make this, um, by all means, let me know. Like, tag me in Instagram if that's where you share it, or whatever. Like, share it on our Discord page as well. You can do that. Always like to see what everybody else is working on. Yeah, see, this is the last part of the Celtic thing. It's the last little loop at the end. Yeah. Not sure. I was just gonna say that maybe you could make like a tube bracelet out of it. I don't think there's enough showing that it would make it that interesting. You'd have to like almost double it and whatever. And at that point, you're just gonna have a lot of work that's not shown, which is less fun. It'd be more interesting to do a bag. At least then you get to see the pattern repeat a few times. If you did a bag, I suspect you could even get it to where you could have like a different color in each of the segments. You would have to add in some zigzag knots to do for these outer ones and try to keep the colors in places and stuff. You would have to add in some more advanced stuff. But I think you could have a bag where this interesting pattern here is in a different color on each one of the segments going around. That would be super cool. That would be really cool. No, I'm not going to do it anytime soon. I have too many bags already planned out. And, but if you guys like the idea, we can put it on the list for things to do even further into, 2024. So, yeah. So this is we're down into the last of the diamonds and stuff. And this part is obviously way easier, and there's like there's no change. Like the whole video is at the same speed, but it does feel like this is going a little bit quicker, and that's probably that sense in my head that, ooh, get near the end, yay, and I go a little faster. And I don't know why I do that, but I know that I do. So it is what it is. Do you guys do that as well? Is this just a me thing? Is this just something where I get excited and work at a different pace? Because I suddenly realized like that maybe it's only me, but maybe it's not. Maybe you guys could help reassure me that I am not alone in this practice. So, anyways, another diamond or so to go. So, if you guys haven't already, hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. And you know, subscribe. Obviously, you like watching my videos. You watched this far. So, hit the subscribe button. That's pretty cool. Oh, and if you could, maybe watch a playlist after this. Like, if you like the making videos, watch a playlist of making videos. If you want to see how I do the patterns, there's a whole playlist on that. If you're kind of new to the bracelets, there's easy ones. There's, if you're a little bit more advanced, there's the intermediate ones. And then there's the very advanced uh, tutorials that cover a lot of bags and other stuff like that. So yeah, there's a little something for everybody, but we are trying to get up the watch hours to get this channel monetized, and we are getting really nice and close. And your watch hours might help put us over the edge, so that would be kind of really awesome. Yep, the end is coming really, really close, and there'll be a big reveal, and it'll be awesome. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll get the bracelet over into the shop, and yeah, if you're interested in having this for yourself, it is a big bracelet. It is cool. I didn't lose the ruler. It is, it's almost exactly 2 inches wide, which is, I think, 5 cm. So yeah, it's huge. There you go, guys. All right. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.